It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. Rugby World Cup bosses have overlooked the Hunters' bid for the 2021 Women's Rugby World Cup following a vote in Dublin overnight. They chose New Zealand instead, despite strong support from Northern Hemisphere delegates and a bigger funding injection promised by our state and federal governments. The tournament would have been a massive financial boost for the Hunter, with 11 teams staying here and the final being held at McDonald Jones Stadium. It seems Wallsend's Bali 9 drug mule Renee Lawrence won't be able to walk free when she returns to Australia next week. Police say there are 2 outstanding warrants for her arrest over a high-speed chase in a stolen car on the Central Coast in 2005. She was yet to appear in court when she was arrested at Bali's Denpasar airport, along with 8 others involved in trying to smuggle heroin to Australia. A Charlestown resident has waited more than 8 months for an appointment at the Parkinson's clinic run by Hunter New England Health. In response, Charlestown MP Jodie Harrison has issued a notice of motion to Parliament calling on the Health Minister to address extended waiting times which are preventing patients from managing the disease. She says the delays for treatment are stressful for everyone involved.
Well, an 8-month waiting time for a post-assessment appointment at the Parkinson's clinic run by Hunter New England is certainly a stressful waiting time for people with Parkinson's disease and their families.
Police are yet to determine how a truck driver lost control of his rig near Singleton last night. The 39-year-old was behind the wheel of a refrigerated semi-trailer on the New England Highway at Belford when he swerved onto the nature strip and back onto the road before crashing down an embankment into a line of trees. He was trapped for a short time before being released and taken to the John Hunter Hospital with cuts and abrasions to his face and back. Police had found a gun and drugs during a raid on a home at Kitchener. Officers from Strike Force Raptor North searched the property yesterday, uncovering a semi-automatic pistol, a firearm barrel, ice and cannabis. They arrested and charged a 33-year-old man over the find. They say he also had outstanding warrants for other matters. Those attending the Newcastle 500 next weekend can be sure there'll be no shortage of public transport getting to and from the event. Hundreds of extra bus and train services have been added to accommodate more than 150,000 spectators expected to visit for the race. Newcastle motorists can expect heavy traffic from the large crowds and major road closures. Melissa Cornetto from the Transport Management Centre says anyone who has a ticket has the means to get there.
Tickets to the event cover travel to and from the event on trains, special event buses, Newcastle and Sydney buses, as well as Newcastle ferry services. So there are plenty of options to help get you there and home again.
2NURFM Sport.
Towering Newcastle Knights forward Jacob Safiti says the agonising shoulder injury, which kept him sidelined for most of last season, may actually be a blessing in disguise. The 22-year-old forward missed all but 8 games last season due to the fractured scapula, the same injury Sydney Roosters halfback Cooper Cronk carried into the grand final. Safiti says the disappointment of being stuck on the sidelines has increased his drive and hunger to succeed next season as the Knights attempt to make the finals for the first time since 2013. The Newcastle Jets have suffered a major blow in the W League, with Tara Andrews and Larissa Crummer confirming they'll miss this weekend's clash with Canberra. They're still recovering from minor injuries picked up in their last match against Melbourne, Crummer suffering a thigh strain while Andrews picked up an ankle knock. Both players are expected to return to the team next week. And the Newcastle Cricket Association says they believe Number 1 Sports Ground will be able to handle next weekend's Newcastle 500 concert with little damage to the pitch. Chairman Paul Marjoribanks says wet weather is the only concern for curators, with the pitch area being blocked off from concert goers. And the winning numbers in Wednesday Lotto are 4, 30, 37, 14, 22 and 15, and the supplementaries are 41 and 5. 2NURFM News Time, 26 to 9.